example, with the Holder video, a ballot from an African American was offered to a white person. That seems to be racism on the other side, but it's interesting how they use the same, you start to realize the same narratives. And these videos, no one really buys this narrative when you actually see the video. So the video is going to be more powerful than anything that the public officials can say.
Maintain this does not expose a weakness in Vermont's law. Election officials say most deceased individuals on active voter lists typically die out of state, and there's no national database for death notices.
Just because someone deliberately went out to commit fraud doesn't mean it's rampant throughout our system.
If there are weaknesses, they can be exploited.
Town clerks we spoke with say they'd be interested in adding more regulations. One said she liked the idea of requiring IDs. Another says he'd support a similar system to that in New York, where a voter's signature must match their initial registration. But ultimately, it will be the legislature's job to determine if change is needed.
Secretary Condos has asked Attorney General William Sorrell to investigate the individuals who film these undercover videos.
So the Secretary of State of Vermont wanted to prosecute me. The Attorney General of New Hampshire wanted to prosecute me. The Board of Elections of D.C. wanted to prosecute me. And the local county officials in North Carolina wanted to prosecute me. That's why people don't do this. But if you continue doing it, they don't prosecute you. I don't know why. I haven't yet been indicted. In New Hampshire was the closest thing. New Hampshire, the guy's name, the Attorney General of New Hampshire, his name is Richard Head. Richard Head. And Richard Head tried to issue a criminal grand jury subpoena upon me, and I did not go to give my speech in New Hampshire because I did not want to be issued a criminal grand jury subpoena. But that went away. It turns out he was also trying to conspire with, work with, send letters to people who, some anonymous people who hacked into my email, so that did not work out well for them. But I did not commit any crimes here. We didn't cross that line. I'm going to move on to another story we've done. This involves Medicaid. And this was actually local. This was in South Carolina. We also did this in North Carolina, but we wanted to expose fraud in the Medicaid offices. We wanted to expose giving out benefits to people who didn't deserve it, abuse of taxpayer funds. So we decided to come up with the most outlandish, outrageous scenario I possibly could come up with. What if I posed as a terrorist who was from Ireland, who was wearing a kilt and said that I was in the IRA, and that I had lots of money, and that I had 40 illegal, non-citizen enemy combatants who were shot in war? Could I be given Medicaid? And this is what happened.
One of his, quote, undercover reporters went into a public assistance office in Charleston, South Carolina, one of 3 such visits in the state. The man is wearing a kilt, speaking in what he alone thinks is an Irish accent, and calling himself Sean Murphy. You might recall from the Acorn video that O'Keefe favors flamboyant costuming in his video. Sean Murphy tells the state employee that he's affiliated with the Irish Republican Army and needs Medicaid help for 25 fellow Irishmen in a nearby hospital who were shot in Belfast. O'Keefe's online post includes an edited version of the undercover video. His group, Project Veritas, says it proves yet another example of widespread Medicaid fraud.
Given that Sean Murphy tells the state of South Carolina that he is a terrorist, seeks health care for points.
Oh, there's a little thing on his crotch there. I don't know if you see it. It's like a little fox. It's like a little fox head he's wearing on his crotch. I don't know what that's called. There's like a Scottish word. Does anyone know? Fox head. There's some word. Anyways, he wore that. I was like, what is on your crotch? It's a thing you